It's a lovely day here in Krakow, just out a wee walk. Thought I'd make a quick video. Someone asked me the other day why I prefer Poland over the UK, or why I'm living here instead of back home. It made me think a bit, and I thought of quite a good few reasons, and thought I'd make a wee video about it. Number 5 for me, I'd say is safety. Not particularly for myself, just in general. It's like, in Poland, I've never heard anyone saying, oh, this is a dodgy neighbourhood, oh, you should avoid that area, especially late at night, whenever, especially in Krakow, where I live. It's really safe. Speaking to like girls, they've all said like they never feel in danger when they're like out walking. They can walk home late at night. I mean, of course there's going to be creeps no matter where you go in the world, but in terms of Krakow and Poland in general compared to the UK, it's so much safer. Even like the city centre and stuff, you know yourself, you've been to the UK or you live in the UK, you've got like Glasgow, Manchester, it's like The Walking Dead, just you know what I'm talking about, just bloody absolute space cadets walking about, a lot of beggars and stuff. I mean, I'm not saying Poland's not get homeless people, or there's no drugs in Poland, or there's no alcoholics. Of course there is. I mean, you see the alcoholics and stuff about, you see some homeless people, but in comparison to back home, it's very minimal. I'm not sure why, what's the reasons, but it's a big thing that stands out compared to here. Less people, especially if you're on walk through Glasgow, you might got a pound, mate? Got a pound? Like, maybe get asked that 6 times walking up Sauchiehall Street. But none of that here. You get the odd beggar, but nah, that's definitely one of the top reasons I do like Poland overall. Okay, managed to get out of the sun, get a bit of shade, hopefully cool down a bit. Number 2 for why I prefer Poland over the UK. For me personally, it's very dog friendly. Not that the UK isn't, of course it is. It's like no stray dogs. You get organisations like the RSPCA, but in general it's like in Poland you can take your dogs in so many restaurants, like cafes, even shopping malls, some supermarkets too, which isn't as popular in the UK to do so. And I've found that here they're kind of more open to it for some reason. Same with vets as well. The vets are super cheap compared to back home. One of my dogs needed an operation, and it was like, back home it would have been well over like £1,000, maybe double that, just for a small operation to get like a kind of lump, a cyst kind of lump removed. Took him here for the operation, did it all absolutely perfect. Went to pick him up and went to pay, expecting a hefty bill, and it was like 450 zloty, which is like £90 or like €100 or something. And I was like, yeah, that's like just minimal cost. What's the extra cost? Like, no, that's the total cost. And I was like, wow. So I don't know if the UK is kind of more expensive than other countries in general for like vets, but yeah, compared to Poland it was just unbelievable difference. It's not a bad day at all. So another thing I want to talk about, the third on the list, which is probably the most important and one of the main aspects when considering moving to any foreign country, is the cost of living. Now, when you think of Eastern Europe, you probably think, oh, it's much cheaper, rent's much cheaper, my money could go much further. In some places, yeah, but in Poland it's not so much the case anymore. The past couple of years, like with inflation, the war in Ukraine brought a large influx of people. House prices have went up, especially kind of the tourist areas as well. They're a bit crazy right now, the house pricing, the rent. I've got one mate who's paying like £750 or £800 for a studio flat. I mean, it's a really good location, but you could pay that back home, so it's not that cheap at all. We were quite lucky. We kind of like went outside of Krakow, just on the border, to get a better deal, and there's more areas to take the dogs a walk. So we were paying like £450 for £450 for like a 2-room, fully furnished, with our own private garden, which was a pretty good deal. A couple of years ago we probably would have paid even cheaper. So food wise, I would say it's more cheaper than the UK. You've still got like your Aldi and Lidl and stuff here, and these kind of shops, then the kind of Polish supermarkets like Biedronka and stuff, which can get a lot of kind of cheap groceries. And one thing I must say, there's a lot more kind of emphasis on like fresh food here. Like obviously you've got all your fresh vegetables in the UK, but even when you're walking the suburbs here, there's loads of like farms and stuff, and people sell like the fresh produce just straight on the street, like in little markets and stuff. So it's a lot healthier compared to all the processed stuff we eat back home. Get a bit of shade now. Even like, to go on more about the cost of living, the eating out and stuff, you can get a really good meal for like between 10 and 20 quid, which is like 50 to 100 zloty, in like a nice restaurant. Beers, of course, quite cheap here. You've still got your kind of usual ones you'll find back home, like Carlsberg and all that, but there's some really good like Polish and Czech beers which are super cheap, especially if you're buying at the supermarket. Even in a restaurant, they're not bad at all, price wise. So I'm just on my way home, cutting through some dual carriageway. Not sure if I'm supposed to be here, but it's a Sunday, there's nobody about, so I'll take my chances. Fourth for me, and an important reason for me, is the like hiking and nature you've got in Poland. Don't get me wrong, in Scotland we've got like beautiful mountains, lochs, even England as well, we've got like the Lake District, other areas. It's definitely worth a visit. But I think kind of this area, Poland, just kind of beats it, to be honest. The mountains are much higher, some amazing hiking routes, only like an hour and a half away from Krakow max. And we've also got Slovakia, just a couple of hours away to the border. And you've got the Tatras there and some amazing other hiking areas. And the wildlife also. Not that I've seen anything too interesting, apart from wild boars. Which I don't like, because a couple of run-ins with them are quite dodgy. That's a different story. But they've got like bears, wolves, lynx, so quite different from the UK. We don't have any kind of dangerous animals, apart from like the Highland midge, which is the most ruthless animal that's ever lived. If you've ever went camping in the west of Scotland, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. We've also got people from Paisley. Very dangerous if cornered, so you need to avoid them. But overall, in Poland you've got the mountains in the south. Even in the north you've got like Gdansk and stuff, some really nice beaches, sandy. Don't get me wrong, the water's freezing, but coming from Scotland I can't really complain. I don't mind it too much. So you've got a best of both worlds. So the last kind of point I want to make is an observation I've kind of made, and I notice it kind of in Eastern Europe in general, like you don't see that many fat people, not including myself. Like compared to the UK, you genuinely don't. I mean, I touched on it earlier, like the food here is a lot less processed, proper Polish food. Not that it's the best in the world, to be honest. I wouldn't rate Polish cuisine as my favourite, but it's definitely a lot healthier than what we consume back home. Less processed, more kind of good, fresh like meat, vegetables and stuff. And also the activity levels here seem to be a lot higher. Like sports, kind of outdoor activities are a lot bigger, like the hiking, mountain climbing, and even rollerblading. Like I've not seen anyone do rollerblading since since I was a school kid, especially an adult. You don't see much, but here you go down near the centre and there's like loads of people doing it. There's even like coaches and adults doing like group classes to learn how to do it properly. So I think the activity level combined with what they're consuming is one of the reasons why they seem to be a much healthier lifestyle. Now I'm not sure like how accurate it is, but in general, cyclist there, like how accurate that is, but it's just something I've noticed, which isn't a bad thing at all. But that's pretty much it, the points I've really wanted to make for why I prefer Poland to the UK. I might not live here forever, but for now I'm enjoying it. So if you want to see more kind of videos about Poland, and I'll be doing a lot more travelling elsewhere, posting videos, just hit that subscribe button, and I'll be posting videos every week, so hopefully you can enjoy them and discover some of Poland and wherever else I am. Cheers!